would go with Donovan Mitchell, but what Gobert does for this team is phenomenal as a player. I mean, he really erases a lot of mistakes defensively for this team.
But he couldn't erase that one. Spencer Dinwiddie maneuvers his...
He can get there, but that did make a difference.
Yep.
Gobert makes the first... This is about as big of a lineup as you'll see the Mavs play with a front line. Yes, he did.
You know, I don't remember his old free throw style, but he's getting that forearm perpendicular to the ground, which that's why he's holding that ball way out in front of him.
Racing outside to set a screen is Powell. Dinwiddie on the bounce. O'Neal fights over the top of the screen. It's a late shot clock situation. It's a basket and one.
Out of control on that miss.
Jazz have not shot the ball well in the paint so far in the game. They were 7 of 16 on paint attempts in the first quarter. Dinwiddie doubled. Open three. Oh, that felt good.
Now the tone of this is much different. Players are going to have to adapt in game.
Donovan Mitchell is back in. Clarkson on the bounce. And Clarkson going downhill, and he's slowed down by Kleba, but still scored.
To free yourself up. Excellent move that time by Clarkson.
Mavs had their biggest lead in front by 8, now on top by 6. 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Dinwiddie back to a cutting Finney Smith, and he...
Well, give Reggie those kind of looks this whole series.
Bogdanovich, mid-range pull-up, good.
He's been their best.
So this is his first game action in a little bit over 2 weeks.
And there's nothing you can do to emulate it.
Clarkson with a giant killer.
That's what that...
Whiteside's in the game. Gobert's out. Clarkson around Bertans and able to elevate and levitate to losing the play-in game to the New Orleans Pelicans last night.
Hart, what an amazing presence Kidd has been for this team all year long, and I think it even goes up as Bertans lets it rip and hits.
Block shot. Mavericks run. Reggie Bullock. Yes, sir.
I thought it was outstanding defense, which the Mavericks have held their hat on all season long. Donovan Mitchell continues to struggle. That's his first bucket.
With Luka Doncic missing today's game with a strained left calf, Dinwiddie into the lineup, and the rest of the group who you would expect. Jalen Brunson is backcourt maybe. It's lost a three. Dwight Powell, the big man. Have it. Gobert is bigger, Powell is quicker, and that time he looked meaner on that putback. Dinwiddie a determined drive. It's a kick out to Bullock. Closing in on 4 minutes left of the first half. The Mavericks are only losing a 7-point lead. Shot fake, dribble drive. Finney Smith finds Brunson. And Jalen's heave from the outside.
Dorian Finney-Smith is doing so much for this team right now.
Under the defense, Mitchell. Bogdanovich stands still, look at a three. It was open, and it was part of the way down, and it spun out.
Bogdanovich a little puzzled that he was not able to hit that wide open three. Maybe he should use his bounce.
That's right.
That's what's been successful for him in the first half.
Well, hopefully they won't be able to start putting pieces together in that jigsaw puzzle because Utah's 0 for 8 on 3. Down goes Brunson, and almost the shot going down. A trip to the free throw line for a pair for Jalen as we see Dwight Powell with today's All-State Mayhem moment. It's a thunderous putback.
Yeah, Gobert didn't put a body on him. Dwight outworked him, timed it perfectly. And this is the kind of stuff he gives the Mavs. I mean, you've talked about it, Harp. That energy, relentless effort creates opportunities.
It's hard to move a mountain, right?
Yes.
But you can outquick it.
Yes.
I mean, you can get around it or slide through it somewhere.
And you see him breathing heavy there. I think Maxey's getting ready to come in for him. Saw Dwight motioning to the bench earlier.
Well, if you leave it out there, you should be.
You play to exhaustion in your time on the floor.
And that's what Dwight Powell does every single night. No substitute for what DP brings to this Maverick team.
Do you have to worry about the altitude when you play the Jazz in Dallas, or is that...
No, that's a Salt Lake City thing, yeah.
Okay, good. Just...
It's not a Denver thing.
I missed your candy.
You're bringing some misinformation to the podcast.
And Sasquatches are not from Saskatchewan either.
I'll stand by that.
Mitchell didn't look good as soon as it left his fingertips, but that high bounce off the rim came floating down to Royce O'Neal. And O'Neal drives and finds Bogdanovich. And finally, Utah quenches their thirst, their first three-pointer of the game.
Steve, you alluded to it. Bogdanovich has been the key.
Absolutely.
For keeping the Jazz in this game down just 6 points right now. And if you're Utah, you might be happy that Donovan Mitchell has just 2 points and you're still in the game.
Kleba, tough shot, no good. Gobert's presence was a real problem for both Dinwiddie and Kleba in that sequence.
Yeah, and they were all clogged up in there. Dinwiddie didn't have any good angles. I can't believe that pass went through there.
Bogdanovich tried to bait Dinwiddie into a rip-through move foul. But then he got to his body and spun and scored. And that's 15 first-half points for Bojan Bogdanovich.
A little bit underrated, I think, as a player. Can flat score the basketball. You don't average 18 throughout your career pretty much, Mark.
Yep.
And not be able to do what he's doing in this first half. He's been spectacular for the Jazz.
7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. O'Neal up on Brunson. Clock winding down. Brunson will give it another go on the drive. He hits the floor hard. And in what is a sign of playoff basketball, whistles have frequently been swallowed as Conley scores. And the Jazz are making their own little run after Dallas had their biggest lead of the game at 9. Utah has now scored 7 straight.
That was really savvy. Conley knew Brunson was on the ground, and so that was a good example of transition offense. It wasn't fast break offense.
Finney Smith. Too much on the three-pointer. That's his first missed shot of the game. He's now 3 for 4. 90 seconds left in the half. Conley loving. Gobert caught it. The Mavericks, to their credit, played about 8 minutes between committing their 4th team foul and now their 5th team foul of the quarter. And it will send Gobert to the free throw line with a chance to tie the game.